Welcome to round 3 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of October 18th. I'm Nicole Erdix, and I'm here with Catherine Halacco.
Hello.
And Terry Morrow.
Hello.
We're moms of teens and young adults, and when it comes to parenting, we've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But we're still waiting for that day when we'll reach the finish line and have no further need to lay down in a dark room with a wet rag over our eyes worrying about something or other. Wednesday is complaint day here on Parenting Roundabout. And today we are complaining about the differences between raising boys and girls. So,
we all have one of each, so we are experts on.
And I mean, where does the complaint originate from? I guess is my question.
I don't know if it was so much of a complaint that you made, Catherine, as an observation, but it amused me.
Yes. What happened was my son's school's homecoming was last week, and we even talked a little bit about that here on the podcast. And I assumed he was not going to the dance because I didn't hear a word about it until about 2 hours before said dance, when he asked me to iron a pair of pants. And that's how I learned that he was going to the dance, which is, when with my daughter, there was weeks of shopping for just the right dress. And there was, I have to get my nails done. And my friends and I are meeting, 8 hours beforehand to get ready together and all that stuff. So now, of course, this is partly just a difference between my boy and my girl.
Right.
But it was funny because one of my friends, her son was he wanted to wear suspenders and a bow tie to his homecoming. And he did know that in advance. And they were looking for them, and she was asking if she could borrow them from another parent. And of course, a girl would never borrow. No. She would have to have her own. So yeah, it's obviously, it's very stereotypical, and, kids can certainly be very different, right. But in my experience, there's definitely some things that boys do that girls don't.
And in my world,
it has to do with expectations also.
Yeah.
Nobody really cares what the boy is wearing to the homecoming dance.
True.
I mean, if they wore polka dot shorts and a t-shirt, I suppose somebody would say something, but in general, wearing pants their mom ironed and a shirt and
right. I did ask him afterwards, so was there any crazy outfits or anything? What did people wear? And he said that one boy came in a pink faux fur overcoat.
Oh my gosh.
For some reason. I have no idea why. And that another boy, by the end of the night, had taken off his dress shirt and was wearing a tank top undershirt, and then ripped said undershirt in half. Again, this is something only a boy would do. Ripped it in half, so he was wearing it like a vest, open.
Oh,
wow. You got some happening homecoming dances there.
So wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
I definitely don't think a girl would rip her clothing in half on purpose at a dance.
No.
And if she did, her mother would say, "Do you know how much I spent on that?"
Right. And she would be arrested for public indecency.
Well, that's true also, yes.
And Missy would protest.
Missy would definitely come in.
Yes. If Missy survives the Zoom noise filters. Hi, Missy.
See, I have a situation where I have a boy and a girl, and both of them would just not care or
not
plan.
care what they wore.
Yeah. It's not so much a gender issue. It's more of a personality issue with those two. They just don't. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, and I was a very stereotypical female, and I still am, admittedly. And so a lot of the things that she did or that she had or was prepared for was because of me pushing that onto her, right? Like, you need to think about a dress. We need to go shopping. You need to get matching shoes. You need to think about your hair. Like, that was all me pushing her into that
true.
position. Like, she would have just gone, I mean, she wouldn't have planned it out. She would have been last minute. She probably wouldn't have been overly happy, but it just would have been all thrown together last minute because it's just the way she rolls.
Yeah. I think it's probably the same with my daughter, who was never real tuned into social stuff anyway and didn't really care, but I cared. Oh my goodness, did I care? I wanted her to do what she was supposed to do, what she would be expected to do. I wanted her to be wearing something appropriate. She just had her own style and she didn't care. But like if it was a dance or an event, I was always very concerned. And I wish I could have just stopped. But I mean, there was this one year where she was going to this special dance for band and everybody dressed up, and I knew she didn't like dresses. So I found a really, really fancy pantsuit for her to wear. But even that was, kids were like, what are you wearing? So, and then of course the program goes on her, even though it was me.
Yeah.
They should be blamed. Why did your mother pick that out for you?
Right.
But she really, for herself, did not care. And would adjust.
Right.
I mean, she decided at some point in elementary school that she was just going to wear sweatpants all the time. And that's what she was comfortable in. And that's what she wore. And I didn't care so much for going to school every day. But man, if you're going to a dance, I want people not to look at you and say, what are you wearing? And yet I still even screwed that up. My son, I don't care about that much, because I think with boys, like you said, there's not that many expectations. It hurt my heart when my daughter didn't go to any of the big dances in high school. It didn't hurt my heart when my son didn't. Wasn't that big. Actually, he went to his junior prom and he really didn't enjoy it that much. And so I didn't push for the senior prom, even though he probably could have gone because he had a girlfriend. But, she was not interested in it at all. But again, I wanted it for her. And I was sad when she didn't have it. And she was not sad in the least. So that is sort of an expectations thing, Yay for her not having those expectations, not feeling them and not caring. That's very healthy.
Right.
And boo for me. It's not my prom. Why am I all upset about it? But you want your kids to have those milestones and you want them to be accepted and you want them to be, appreciated by their peers.
Right.
And when it doesn't happen, it's kind of, well, what do I do now?
And I wonder if it's partly because she's a girl and you're a girl that, you were
definitely
saying that you cared more about whether she went than whether your son went.
Yeah.
And I think it's because like mother, like daughter kind of
right.
thing.
And it probably feels to me like, geez, I remember how eager I was to go to my proms and how worried I was. What if I don't have a boyfriend or what if I'm not able to? And we didn't, in my day, we didn't all go in big groups, which I know they do now, but it doesn't. And, I did go to all of them and I was very happy to go to all of them. And I'm like feeling that, no, this is what you need to be happy in high school. You need to do these things. And it's stupid. Right. And she would probably have been very happy if I had not cared. It would have made her happier.
Because a lot of these things, like you said, a lot of these milestones they're kind of things that have been, what am I trying to say? They're events that have been around for years, right? Good or bad. And we have in our mind that we need to attend these events. Our kids need to attend these events in order to fit into their social circles. And they need to be a part of that, at least in the world that I live in. Communities have different expectations of their kids.
And it's like not so much that going is such a great thing, but that not going is such a loser thing.
Yeah.
At least that's the way it feels to me,
Yeah.
So
and I don't know if, like, I'm not sure these days if you don't go, it's negatively looked upon.
Maybe not.
I know when I was, it was. When I was going, it was. But I think kids are a little bit more, their attitudes are a little bit, I don't know, Catherine, what would it be like in your town?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a group of kids for whom it's a big deal and they definitely want to go, and for others, not so much. And I definitely was hoping that my son would go just because of, sometimes he does struggle with this social stuff and, sort of thinks he doesn't have friends, even when I could point to like, these 10 people are your friends,
Right.
And I had said to him, a week or two before, like, so are you going to go to the homecoming dance? And he said, oh, maybe if I have people to go with. And I said, sometimes you have to be the one that starts that, sometimes you have to be the one doing the inviting. And that I know is very hard for him. So then when I didn't hear anything else about it, I just assumed he wasn't going. And I wasn't going to say anything, I wasn't going to ask because that would just be perceived as pressure that I wasn't trying to apply. So, but I think maybe in terms of boys versus girls, I probably would have been more hurt for him more hurt about him not going, or more sad for my kid not going for a daughter. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just seems like, because it just seems like these things are more important to girls most of the time. So I mean, I try to picture if my daughter was like, no, I'm not going to go because I don't have anybody to go with, it would be heartbreaking for a kid of either. Of any gender.
And even if she didn't care, you would care on her behalf.
Right.
Like, oh, honey, this means you don't have the social structure I would like you to have.
Right.
And there's nothing I can do about it because I can't call the other kids and say, would you please include her?
Right.
And I would have done that if that was a possibility.
I think groups of guy friends are not necessarily going to be like, yeah, let's all go. It'll be fun. Like, I think the group of friends that my son went with definitely included girls, unattached girls.
Right.
Because he has a lot of female friends. So
that's nice. If you have a group of friends that you can just go like that. And that's something that, my daughter lacked, and that also, hurt me. So people were saying to her, you could just go by yourself. And it's like, no, you can't just go by yourself. You don't have to have a date, but you can't just go by yourself.
You definitely can't go by yourself.
Then like you were saying with your son, that sometimes you have to instigate the asking. So it's like, used to be you had to ask somebody from the opposite gender, and we no longer do that, but you still have to put yourself out there in the possibility of rejection, even just to go with a group of people. Man, being a teenager stinks. It really does. I would not go back to those. We were talking about nostalgia on Monday. I have no nostalgia. I had a good time in high school, but I would not go back. It's fraught.
It is.
And I feel like I lived out all the rejection again a second time. My kids were in it. Oh, I remember this.
I feel this roller coaster starting up again. Going up the hill.
And I am just as self-obsessed then as I was now. This is not a good thing. Oh, well, before I have any further trauma, let's just say that's it for today's round 3. Tune in tomorrow when we'll obsess about parenting wish lists, and then on Friday to see what we've come up with for our Roundabout Roundup picks this week. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.